Okay, so I'm going to start with what I call my warm-up, my warm-up improvisation, just to get myself grounded and settled into making music. And then we'll come back and we'll be a little more interactive about how we create what's next with the music. So sit back and enjoy.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you. All right. So, one thing to watch for is that you're always muted while I'm playing. But just so you know, it's not a disaster at my end because I'm recording the piano without the Zoom sound. So it doesn't ruin the recording. But, just for everybody else, of course, it's less disruptive. So just watch that you're always on mute while I'm playing. Do your best. Okay. So, sound is a little too much at the crescendo, Jill. So, is it distorting a bit? Is that what you're hearing?
A little bit, yes. I turned my volume down.
Okay.
Is anyone else having that same experience that it's a little too loud at the loud parts? Okay, yep.
Yes? Okay. That's interesting. I didn't change my settings. Zoom has changed something, I guess.
We can play that. You're still a little reverby, echoey when you talk as well. So,
Well, I don't think I'm going to troubleshoot that. Am I clear? Can you hear me okay?
yes.
Okay.
Well, while you're doing that, I
here.
can talk a little bit about our next bit and kind of tee that up. Many of you have been with us before. Several of you are new. And again, welcome to the folks who've just joined. We usually start these concerts with a little bit of a reflection on what the experience of life is like right now. And so our invitation for you is to use that chat function we talked about. Put 2 or 3 words in the chat, or maybe even one if you're feeling succinct this morning, that best describe your experience of life right now. And the things that are easiest to play with for Craig are sort of moods and emotions that best capture your experience. So that is what we invite you to do. You can put those in the chat right now. We love to, as I say, we love to see active chat. So Michelle, great one. We're focused inwardly. We keep saying when we have these concerts that we're moving through this pandemic. Sometimes it feels interminable, but
Yeah, it's becoming almost normal.
it is almost becoming normal. We've been talking about this quote unquote new normal for a while.
Yes.
So excellent. I love these. Lisa, miraculous. I love it. That's wonderful.
Is my voice any better now, Jill?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a new development. I have to mute the piano mics. It seems to solve that.
Okay.
I just have to remember to unmute them when I play.
There you go. Oh, there's some good ones coming in. And just so you know, when you're chatting, some of you have received messages from me. And if you chat, you need to select everyone. Gay, I'm just going to put yours out there for everyone so that you can see it. Whoops, and I made the same boo-boo. I sent it just to Craig. Let me do that once more. There we go. So we'll get yours in the conversation there.
Oh, these are great. Lots of great ones to choose from.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see here.
Robert, thanks for sharing. Thoughts are with you as you celebrate your mom's life. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that one. I'm not going to do it first because the piece I just did was fairly somber in itself. Although I don't know if that's what you want for that. We'll have a conversation about that. But let's go with, I think you put that in for Gay, right? Joyous, creative, peaceful. That was for Gay. Gay, how do you, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to have a conversation about it. But if you wanted to come off mute and say a little bit about joyous, creative, and peaceful for yourself, how that shows up in your life, or how you're creating in that life, I'd welcome it, but you don't have to. And if you remain black and off mute, I'm going to take that as your answer. Okay, well, let's do that one. Yeah, I think that would be a good choice after the one that we just did. So this is joyous, creative, peaceful.
Okay, everybody, time for more applause. There you go. I can see Ruth, Craig's mom, getting into the applause too. Well done.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
All right.
Okay, so I want to do something for Bob, Robert. Um, so is there anything you want to say about your mom? You don't have to, but if you want to come off and say a little bit who your mom was for you, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Greg. Um, yes, my mother passed away on the 6th of October, and it was expected. She was 95 years old. She had been sort of going downhill for maybe a couple of weeks, so we think it was TIAs. And so it's not
Mm.
so much, it's not so much that I'm feeling sad for her because she did pass very peacefully and quickly.
Yeah.
But it's, I've started feeling a little sad for all of her great grandchildren. She had about 7 or 8. I keep losing track.
Mm.
And they won't have Gigi, as she was referred to in the family, great grandma, available anymore. And also, the other thing is, it kind of makes me the senior member of the family right now. So
Ah,
that
yes.
causes a little bit of reflection as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a really a totally unhappy time, but it's just the progression of she's the last of that particular generation. So
Yeah. 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 So if you were to put any emotions to how that is for you, what would they be?
stay safe. It's the sadness is really only just realizing that she's not here anymore, but fully expected. So it's not so much sad; it's just kind of reflective.
Okay. Okay.
Just
Yes.
reflective of a change in life, a change in the structure of the family.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Jill, was the piano any better that time? I brought down
Was a bit. Yes. Thank you.
still more.
Carol's saying no. Let's keep it as a.
It was good. Okay. Good. Good.
And Patty, thank you for your share too. Our thoughts are with you and your family as well.
Yeah, I think there's a few of us who have lost loved ones recently. I'm aware of Patty, so this is for you too, Patty. And I lost my Aunt Margaret. I guess it was about 3 weeks ago, and she was an important figure in our extended family as well. So this is for all of us. All right. So, how are we doing for time here, Jill?
We are just about time. We could do one more improvisation, or we could.
Oh, I think it's 11:30, so it's time to. Yeah, there's time if I'm quick. Let's be quick. There's time for one more of these.
Thank you for that last one. That was beautifully captured the mood.
Oh, thank you, Jill. Let's see. What have we got here? Lots to choose from. I like Amy Chang has put wonder. Amy, do you want to say a little bit about wonder? Okay, well, we're going to do wonder, Amy. We'll do wonder for you. It'll be my interpretation of wonder, not yours. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the audio, Amy. So you can just go on mute and we'll do wonder.
It sounds like Amy may have gotten her microphone working again.
You want to try it one more time, Amy? No,
No?
okay.
Ah.
All right. So most of you who have been, oh yeah, still doing weird stuff, Amy. um, so okay.
You're ready. I even
Yeah.
heard some, like, in the Wonder, I even heard some Wonder Woman. I don't know, Amy, if that was in your, idea of wonder, but there we go. We
Yeah.
can take that today. Oh.
Okay, so we're moving on to this special section of this. We have, as you know, those of you who joined me before, I usually have a guest artist or a guest poet or a guest of some sort, and I'm really thrilled to have Carol Gonzalez join us. What's different this time is she's not joining us as an artist herself, although I don't know that about Carol. Maybe she is an artist and she hasn't told me, but. Carol's late aunt, Beryl Bernay, was a very fine artist and photographer. So, Carol, if you want to come off mute, Carol's going to say a little bit about herself and her aunt, and then we're going to use some of her paintings and photos as inspiration for some of our improvisations.
Well, hi, Craig, and hi, Connie, although she stepped away, and hi, Michelle, and hi, Bill, and hi, Karen Jones, and hi, Lisa, and hi to you all. This is completely unscripted, so it's going to be
Yes.
completely extraneous. And I just first want to say how honored I am to be a part of this collaboration. I feel honored, and my family is honored. So I want to
That's
say
wonderful.
that.
Thank you, Carol.
So my aunt is one of those people that had a big impact on the people that she met and in her endeavors, and I would venture to say life itself. She was a little woman, under 5 feet, but a really big woman in many ways, including her. She also had a very big voice as well. Yeah. Although she did refine her New York accent, so you couldn't tell she had a New York accent. She was really unforgettable. Pretty much, you bumped into her, you knew her, you didn't forget her. And there was a spectrum of unforgettability in many different ways. It was funny, in her memorial ceremony, the word that kept coming up was force. She was a force. And she was also very, very dear. She could have a don't get in my way New Yorker, push back to the nth degree, and yet underneath that, and she employed that, was such a love for the best in life, I would say, for human connection, for family, though she didn't have her own, for justice. She was an early civil rights person. She tells a story of, at one point, there was a delay with Martin Luther King's flight, and so his children, she managed to have his children overnight in her loft, and her mother took care of them. It's just how she rolled. Yeah. So that's a little bit.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me. You didn't tell me a lot of that stuff, so it was really great to hear that about her, get the sense of who she was, and a little bit of who she was. One of the things that we're going to do now is we're going to just bring up her website. Well, Carol, you created this website, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and we're just going to flip through some of her, because we're only going to use 3 of her works today, but we're going to flip through, Jill's going to flip through some of her paintings and her photographs as we look. And this is actually one of the paintings we're going to do. It's the one we're going to do next. But you can move on to some other paintings, Jill. So what would you say, what do you have to say about her art and her photography? Anything, Carol?
Oh my. I would say that her spirit is so present and alive in her art. And she was a very spirited woman. So you will see in her paintings a variety of styles. She was always experimenting. She was always playing. She was really playing, and as she expressed, and she just explored everything. It was a few years ago, I was in her home studio in East Hampton. And in fact, it was the last summer she could stay there. And we were, she had her paintings. Oh, I'm sorry, I forget what it's called, in the racks. And we would pull one out and she would talk about it and I would put it back in. I'm so sorry that wasn't recorded. It was like being in her world, was like being in a Fellini film much of the time. And but her going and talking about her work was sensational because there was so much depth behind what she did. There is so much deep feeling, and then going with the deep feeling, but also very grounded in deep thought and or not. But
yeah,
what do I want to say? I'm not quite sure how I want to go with that. It's just She was a complicated, complex, interesting woman who was interested in so much. I mean, she was childlike in her unbridled curiosity with things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's. I think Jill's having to multitask. I think I see someone trying to come in. Oh, it looks like you let her in. Okay. So let's look at a couple of the photos. We should start working on the first one that we're going to make music to, but let's just see some of the photos first, because we're actually going to be doing 1 painting and 2 photos today. And now Jill's doing her best to find her way back to the photos. I think if you go to Works, go up to Works there, Jill.
For some reason, my computer's taking its sweet time getting out of
being challenged.
I'm being a little technologically challenged. Let's try this again.
Craig?
Yes?
There's a few people that are with us today that were friends with my aunt.
Yes.
And would it be appropriate for them to chime in and correct me or add?
Sure, if they want to say anything, that's fine.
Yeah.
So do you know how to get to the photos, Jill? Is your computer not behaving, Jill?
It's not behaving.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll just be another moment and get there.
I can also say she was just a pioneer. She has a really, as it says in the website, she just didn't want to sell out on her painting, and she just, she was very attached to her paintings, right? And so she decided she would throw her creativity into her make money work, right? So she ended up having just an extraordinary and very creative and very varied career. Right. And so including just a few highlights is she actually created a children's program that was on CBS for several years in the 60s that was the first multicultural children's program. Multicultural wasn't coined as a term then, but she was
Yes.
really all about connecting people. She's about peace, ultimately,
Yes.
even though
Yes.
she didn't always live peacefully. That's what she was. So underlying this, she used all her talents as an actress and an artist and such to have children, to connect children to children of different cultures, of different, skin colors, all of that is through stories and songs. And, so she did that. And as I said, that was on CBS. And the children were like a rainbow group before you saw rainbow groups of people on
Yes.
television.
Yes.
So that was kind of a cool thing that she did.
Yeah. I'm just here's some of the photos, and we'll just look through these very quickly because it's time to start the music. So say just a little bit about say a little bit about photography. Like, in what capacity was she doing photography? Was it?
Yeah, she was self-taught as a photographer, but she landed it's a professional photography job. So she ended up really traveling the world, both as a regular journalist and as a photographer, photojournalist. So,
Right.
yeah. And just one thing I wanted to say from the very first film, you can tell that she didn't shy away from intensity, we can say.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. Really, so many stories in her photos.
So many stories.
Yeah. Okay, let's make some music to some of her art now. And by the way, that is one of her pieces behind you, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I love that. So, Jill, are you able to bring up the next photo or not?
I can share
Okay.
the painting, and I can share
Okay,
each
great.
individual photos. The website is what's
Okay,
challenging me. So
excellent.
we'll get there.
Beautiful.
Does that come up now with the Balinese?
It's unusually small for some reason. Oh, you're sharing the website right now, not the actual photo. That's the website you're sharing.
Okay. Try this once more.
And you thought it was the right one because that is the painting we're looking for.
There we go.
There we are.
All
Okay.
right. Go to full screen. We'll be all set.
Yeah.
There we are.
Beautiful. Okay, so this painting, Carol, is called Balinese Dancers. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, is there anything you want to say about this painting, or do we want people to?
Well, I just want to
see?
say it's a large painting. It's about 6 feet long and about 3 feet high. And I think that's all I'll say about it. I think I'll let everybody else say things about it.
So what we would like you to do for the viewers and listeners is to just think about a couple of questions. So the questions are, what do you see in this painting? Or you could say, what is the feeling and mood that you see in the painting? Or the moods. And type that into the chat. And then we're gonna see if there's a pattern in the chat, or we're gonna see if there's one particularly that grabs our attention. Swirling motion and vibrant energy. I like that. Creative intention. Stylized intensity and impulse. Intermingling intersections and play. Beautiful colors. Abandon. There is, there's a theme in here, isn't there, Carol? Swirling motion, vibrant energy, impulse, intersections in play, intermingling, abandon, given over to the moment. Yeah, so there's something in that abandon and swirling and vibrancy. So let's create from there. Okay, and just make sure everybody's muted other than me. So I'm going to mute you, Carol. Oh, you've done it. Okay. Okay, let's go. How was that, Carol?
That was lovely and awesome and full of energy, and I loved it. It really helped bring the art alive. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad that worked for you. Now, if anyone wants to respond to what they experienced, you can do them in the chat, or is there anyone who wants to come off briefly and say what they heard and saw in that experience? You're welcome to do so. Anyone? No. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next image, Jill. So we've got a photo next.
Going up now?
Yep, it's good. That's good, Jill. Thank you. Okay, so anything about this one, Carol, or do we just want to let people respond in the chat?
Yeah, I think let's just have it speak for itself and let people
Okay.
respond.
Okay, so the same questions in this case. What do you see in the photograph? What are the feelings and moods that it evokes for you? Okay, anticipation.
I like Robert's unknown destination and tentative advancement for the photo. That's wonderful.
I love Michelle's. Personally, that's kind of that misty thing. Thing is the first thing that hits me with that.
It adds a little mystique, doesn't it? And softens the morning. It's wonderful.
These are all great. Unknown destination, tentative advancement. I think Amy's Eureka, yay for reverb, was not for the picture. It was for my audio.
Thanks for celebrating that with us, though, Amy. It's always like, what are we creating? We got reverb and fuzz this morning. Oh, and Gay,
Yeah.
I love yours. Telescoping of tradition through time. That's beautiful.
I think I'd like to go with Michelle's. Misty atmosphere softens the morning pathway. Michelle, is there anything you want to say about the photo beyond that?
I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button.
There you are.
I hit video because I had to leave the room. I've seen the photo before, and it's one of my favorites, but it also draws in that this is like an old, almost lost time, and it may be lost in many parts of the world, to have a kind of like a spaciousness of beauty and nature that surrounds people just doing the everyday mundane tasks.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I love this photo. That's great. Anything else?
Well, definitely invokes an exotic part of the world that most of us will never see.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. That gives me stuff to play with for sure. Okay, we'll put you back on mute. All right. Okay. Next. Anything? Yes, please. Please do. Yes.
Oh, thank you for that. I was just, I was struck by a time so unlike our digital time with all our devices, right? And a time of such presence and lack of distraction, such presence to the moment. And I was also, this misty beyond that no one knows what's beyond. And with, I don't know, maybe the deaths that we talked about earlier, I had the sense of like, they could be going to the beyond. It could be going on to death, right? And yet with camaraderie and acceptance. I mean, I might be putting to, but that's what was occurring for me, and I just want to share that.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Yeah, and if there's anything for anyone else, please do put it in the chat. That would be great. Okay, Jill, you can bring up the third image, which is a photo again.
All right.
All right.
I love this one.
So this is Marketplace, Senegal. It's Senegal. That's how you say it, right? Or is it Senegal?
I think it's Senegal. I think.
Yeah. And so again, would you like to let people share what they see in this and not add, or is there a particular story to this one that you'd like to share, Carol?
Well, again, I think I think it says it speaks for itself, so I'll pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So here we go again. What do you see in this? What are the moods and the emotions that it evokes for you? And put that in the chat. And then we'll pick one of those or get the overall flavor of those and create from there. Vibrant joy of community. Yeah. I feel like eating mangoes now, that's for sure.
Getting ready for lunch.
I feel like smoking a cigarette, just kidding.
Village sisterhood.
I love the prints on the fabrics of their dresses. Back to that vibrant sisterhood or village sisterhood. There we are. Yeah.
A nice break between hard work. Celebration of life. Vibrant color, laughing at a joke. Joy of selling mangoes. Yeah, there's not really, you'd be hard pressed to find anything dark in that one, wouldn't you, in that image? Everything looks pretty happy and connected, and yeah. Okay, well, there's definitely a theme here. There's community, there's joy, there's vibrance, celebration. Let's go with the obvious element of joy and celebration and community in this one. Village sisterhood, yeah, that's a great comment. Okay, here we go. All right. So Carol, thank you so much for coming and sharing your aunt's art and photography. Any last words before we finish this section?
No, just thank you, Craig, so much. Wow. Wonderful.
You're welcome. Now, Jill is going to put some contact information. If you want to reach out to Carol, you can do so. She's going to put that in the chat. And also, we're going to put the link for the website so you can look at her paintings and her photographs. Just very, very briefly, say a little bit about, you told me you were stewarding her works, right? So your intentions are to find homes for pieces, to sell pieces, is that correct?
Yes, yes. The intention is to get her work out to people's lives, that will enjoy it, will be enriched by it, will find joy and meaning, and just be a contribution to people's lives.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. So we've got another section to go. We're going to do intentions next, but before we do that, we're going to say a little bit about these concerts. As you know, there isn't a fee to join these concerts because I operate under the gift economy for these concerts. And I want to say a little bit more about the gift economy because in the past I've said this is a gift economy event, and then it occurred to me some people may not know what that actually means. So I'm going to briefly give you a little bit more of a context for the gift economy. I got interested in the gift economy 2 or 3 years ago when I heard of Charles Eisenstein and a book called, I think it's called The Gift, actually. And you know, many cultures in the past, and even our own, if you go far enough back, operated in the gift economy. And so it's not the same as free. It's more like this, is if you offer what you have to give to the world out into your community and trust that what you need will come back to you, it will. And it's kind of giving up a conversation of scarcity. We live in a system where we need to save up to, you know, that we can support ourselves in the future. In the gift economy, those communities didn't do that. They trusted that their community would support them when they needed it. And so there was this, I give what I can, and then trusting that you'll receive. So this is a long-winded way of saying that, you know, there is an invitation for you to give to me, but it's not required. It may come from somewhere else. So it's not free, it's what you contribute and the value you get out of the experience. And so I want you to consider a few things. You can consider, you can choose an amount that feels right to you given this, your financial means, your anticipation of value, similar events on the market, what represents a gesture of commitment, your desire to support my continued work. And you know, really, if your financial means are limited, then you choose a token amount or even zero. Any of this is all a gift to me. And so the reason why I do these concerts is I want the music to be accessible to everybody. But I also want to be able to keep doing them. So that's what this is all about. So Jill is going to paste some information in the chat. We'll also send a follow-up email. There's one way you can contribute is through a PayPal. I have a PayPal link that will go into the chat. You just click that, and then you put whatever amount works for you, from $1 to $2 million, whatever works for you. Another way you can contribute is you can become a Patreon. I have a Patreon page, and this is for a community of people who really love the work I do. You get some access to some stuff that I don't post anywhere else in there, and there's some new stuff coming with that. I'm going to be creating some playlists of music that I don't have out there anywhere that capture different moods. And so anyone who's a patron will have access to this private page, and there'll be playlists. It's going to take me a while to get this set up, but playlists, maybe you're feeling blue, there'll be blue music. Maybe you're feeling joyful, there'll be joyful music. Maybe you're feeling sad, maybe you're feeling you want to relax. I'm going to have these different playlists that fulfill that mood, or maybe you want to be in that mood. And then, of course, there'll be like experimental list, and there'll be a mixed list. So it's going to be kind of a special access, special place for you to enjoy my music where nobody else can. So that's what that's about. Jill, did I miss anything? I don't think I
got
did.
it all. That was beautifully done. And Patty, I can see you taking a photo, so I'm happy to email it to you if you'd like.
Also, I have a new website. You may not have noticed, if you look at the upper right corner there, I have a new logo. It's a piano with my monogram. And actually, Gay, who's here with us, gave me the idea of the monogram. She had sent me a beautiful card, and she had put CA on it with them overlapping like that. And I went, I love that. And that's how I got the idea of putting that on a piano. So it's my new logo for my craigaddy.com website. So this is a rebuilt website. It's got a whole bunch of my offerings on it that haven't existed anywhere before. I realized that the End of the Piano website just doesn't cover everything I'm doing anymore. So I'm going to be focusing on that new website. And I think that link is going to be in there as well, in ways to contact me. Yeah, there it is. Okay, enough of the business stuff. Let's get back to music. So we're going to do something a little different now, if this is your first time here. And take it away, Jill. You're going to let people know what's happening.
Intentions. So Craig is going to do the magic of setting up breakout rooms. So this one, those of you who've been with us before have done this with us before, which is great fun. For those of you who are new, we want to, as we started the program with a current experience of life, now we want a little bit of a look forward, and for everyone to think about an intention that you have for your life that you'd like to have expressed in music. So, and always better if you can express your intention with moods or emotions or highly evocative words. So you can think about along those lines. So you're each going to go into a breakout of 3 to 4 people in your breakout room, and you'll have 7 to 8 minutes. So we'll give you an opportunity, take a moment or two to introduce yourselves to each other, and then share your intentions. And among your small group there, you'll agree on an intention that you'll come back and share with the larger group here. And you'll also figure out who a spokesperson will be for the group. So when we come back to the main room, that person can share your group's intention. And that person does need to be able to use the chat feature in Zoom. So that's one prerequisite. We do want to say sharing in breakouts is optional. So if you do not wish to share in a breakout, you can turn off your video and take a break for a few minutes and come back as we rejoin the larger group. And if you end up all alone in a breakout room, sometimes that happens, create your own intention to share when you come back to the main room, and you can put that in the chat. So any questions? If you do, you can use that raise hand thing we were talking about before, or you can just come off mute and shout out a question.
Okay, I think we're all back. A few people have had to leave early, so we're down to a group of 15 now. Yes. Okay, so what I want you to do next is I want whoever you chose to be your spokesperson to write in the chat what you created in your group. Do it.
All right, we've got one from group 1. I love it.
Well, I'm always up for loving kindness.
That's always a good one to do. And looking forward is fun. I think Freddie and Claude were putting in super spicy hot peppers was their intention for the future. Oh, Lisa, I like that one too.
New beginnings with authentic and vulnerable creation and completion.
Okay, I think we have perhaps one more group to weigh in. Yep.
At least one
nodding.
more. At least one more. There were 5 rooms. Now, some people may not have created one. That's okay.
Okay. Oh, I got it. So the loving kindness and looking forward came out of a conversation
Yes.
about the divisiveness of the vaccines. So
That's a very good answer.
got it. I like it.
Okay. Is anyone still working on theirs? You can like wave your hand or. No? Okay. So let's go with these 2 because I think we have time for 2.
All right.
So let's start with group 1, love, kindness, looking forward. And you talked about how the vaccine controversy is creating division. So that really gives us a great context for that. Oh, here's one from Carol. Okay. I think that one, in a way, I think we can address both of those with this next piece. Soulful fulfillment with ease, grace, and connection. Okay, let's create that whole world of love, kindness, ease, grace, connection, looking forward. Thank you. Okay, and then we had new beginnings with authentic and vulnerable creation and completion. Lisa, would you mind saying a little bit more about how you created that in your group? You don't have to, but sometimes it gives me a little more to play with.
Yeah, I'm
With so
happy
many...
to. I'm
Oh,
happy
great.
to.
Yeah.
There were 3 of us in the group, and people are they're releasing and creating around people who have died and their things, very similar to what Carol is doing with her aunt. And new books are coming out, and people are having vulnerable conversations with relatives around completion. And let's see, Patty, or do you guys want to say anything else about that? Try to see who's left in here. Gallery. Oh, it's Patty and Sandy. Does anybody want to chime in anything else? Patty? It looks like Patty's trying to unmute. There we go.
Yeah, to me, it was just that there's just this vulnerability. It's like there's a new connection in the relationships by having those communications.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's just like a birthing of, not just a new beginning of the what's going to occur in the household, but like in the relationship, and like a dance between family members. Like like a discovery. It's an adventure.
Great. Thank you, Patty. Anything for you, Sandy?
No, I think Lisa did a good job.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Sandy. And I know you mentioned you need to leave a little early, so I'll understand that if you disappear suddenly.
Good.
But you should be able to hear this piece first, so let's go.
Beautiful, Craig.
Thank you, Sandy.
Oh, loved it.
Well, I love it that you can keep joining me at these. Thank you for coming. All right, Jill. So it's time to wrap up, isn't it?
We are ready. Although I don't know if I'm ready for the music to end, but it's time. Yeah. We have an invitation for you to come to Craig's next concert. It is going to be Sunday, November 14th, right back here, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I'll put that information into the chat. Right now there's a link in the chat to register for that if you'd like. It will also appear in Craig's newsletters if you get those.
Yes, and just quickly, this one is our guest artist is Margaret Eyre, who has written a couple books. Well, she's written one book and she's working on her second book. They're fiction. And so I think our plan, we haven't talked yet, but our plan is to find a couple passages from the book which she'll read. And Margaret, I discovered, is a wonderful orator. Like she reads her book so beautifully. I think she should do audiobooks personally. She's so good at it. So she'll be here to share some of her writing. So that one should be different. We've had poets before, but not someone who writes fiction like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
And it looks like Patricia is planning to join us already. Yay, Patricia.
Yay. Yes, Patricia gets special awards for being here all the time and also being the first person to register. I think Patricia's always the first person to register. I love it.
Great. She hasn't missed one yet. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And Patty will miss you. Patty's saying she'll be in partnership explorations, but we'll miss seeing you, but catch you for the next ones.
Yes.
And lucky
for
you
sure.
get to be in that course. That's wonderful.
And I'm so glad you could come, Patty. Thank you for coming.
Very good.
Yeah.
I would just like to acknowledge Jill for the masterful work and just her partnership in supporting
I
you.
know. Yeah,
And,
she's just wonderful.
It's an absolute delight and a treasure.
Behind the curtain.
Patty, thank you for that today. That I feel like the duck today, right? That everything looks smooth on the surface, and underneath there has been a lot of frantic paddling going on today. My computer has not. My computer's probably been doing exactly what it was told. There's just a lot of user error involved today, so I've been,
Dance with ease.
dance. That's good. That's much better.
And play.
Yeah, we both had some new technical little glitches that we haven't had before today. So
Yeah, I keep asking when Mercury is coming out of retrograde because I'm kind of done with all the technology stuff. So.
Yeah.
Well, we have as we did in the middle of the show, an invitation for you to contribute to Craig a little bit as we wrap up here. Craig, do you want to talk once more about the gift?
Oh yeah, and one thing I forgot to acknowledge, we have people in here who are already patrons, Jill being one of them. Thank you, Jill. But there are others here as well, and so I'm so appreciative of your regular commitment. And just so you know, the Patreon can be for as little as $3 a month. And the thing that I love about it, if you want to contribute that way, is that it gives what every artist dreams of, something that they can count on. When you live in the gig economy, things go up and down and in terms of how they flow. So I really appreciate that, but I want to acknowledge all of you here who are patrons already. Thank you. I appreciate it immensely, and I look forward to bringing in those enhancements I talked about so that you can get real value out of being a patron as well. So thank you.
I often thought that patron of the arts was for people who are fabulously wealthy and have all kinds of money to give. And when Craig explained this new Patreon page that he has, I thought, wow, I could be a bona fide patron of the arts for a regular commitment each month, which leaves me feeling wonderful, and that all of us together contributing a little bit here and there can support artists like Craig and have his gift available to the world. So, Craig, thanks for making that available for all of us who love music.
Yeah. So we're just at 1:00, so the concert is officially over. You're welcome to stay on and chat with Jill and I for a little bit if you want to, just casually. We welcome that. And if you have to go, thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you in some future online Zoom concert, or maybe even an in-person one sometime soon. So, yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming today. Bye, Mom and Dad.
Mm-hmm. Well, they may not be leaving yet. They might want to chat a bit.
Okay. You're all welcome to come off mute. Carol, thank you again for sharing the gift of your aunt's art. Wow.
Oh, thank you both. It was such a pleasure. Yay.
Yeah. So, Gay, do you know how to unmute? Oh, she's off video now.
Yes, I do.
Oh, good. Thank you for coming, Gay.
Thank you for inviting me. This was amazing, thoroughly enriching. And just as
I'm glad
you
you
were
enjoyed
playing, the last piece you played, I was watching the soft rain go down, and I have a big cedar that was swaying. It was perfect.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Gay. Thank you, Karen. We appreciate you coming.
Does anyone have any questions or anything they're wondering about?
Well,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Gay.
The patron page, is that part of your link? Many links?
The link is in the chat. Also, if you go to my craigowdy.com website, there's a tab that says Patreon at the top, and will also get you there.
Okay, I'll just put it in the chat for you right now all by itself if you want to grab that. There you go.
Sure. Thanks.
It's a very cool club to belong to, I'm just going to say. All right.
And Gay, thank you for your contribution. She contributed early for this concert.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we hope you'll join us for many more. It's fun to watch this audience as it grows. It's very much a really lovely community, and as you heard me say earlier, probably half of the people on today have attended multiples, and then as we have featured artists like we did with Carol this time, they always bring sort of their own.
Some interesting friends, yes.
Yeah, there's always a fun community that grows up out of each artist being featured too. So
yeah.
I'm excited to hear Margaret next month. That's going to be fun. So.
Yeah. I got to step up my marketing game, though. I always start promoting it like a week before it starts.
Craig, maybe you and I should have like weekly marketing things.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
We have had up to 30 people here before, so
yes.
And those were the times we marketed earlier.
Those were the times. We've learned something about that. Early marketing. Market early and often. That's what we learned.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've learned something about that because I keep on doing the same thing over and over again. So.
Well, there's learning and then there's action, right?
Well, all right. I'm gonna sign off. But my question, the question I was gonna ask was just facetious. So like, where have you been all my life? Oh wait, we're here now. Yay.
There you are. We're here now. We'll be here again on November 14th. So
okay.
Cool.
All right,
girl. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. Just an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Lovely. Truly. I'll be back.
Yes. Likewise.
Great day.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Patricia. See you later. Thanks for coming again.